Women's Movement. Good afternoon. Comrades of Central Westmoreland, good afternoon to you. Comrades on the platform, my comrade sisters who I will be walking to Parliament together with 22 of us, Comrade Mrs. Golding, and my party leader, the next Prime Minister, Comrade Mark Jefferson Golding. A very special big up to the President of the Women's Movement, Comrade Patricia Duncan Sutherland, and the past President and first President, Comrade Beverly Manley Duncan. Comrades, I greet you from Southwest St. Anne, but today I come with a message for every young woman with a dream and a gift who is looking for a platform. Every young girl who sketches in her notebook or navigates Canva or Photoshop. Every young woman who writes a song in her bedroom. Every makeup artist, every dancer, every poet, writer, fashion designer, or female influencers, filmmakers who are wondering, how do I turn my creativity into a career? They have the talent, they have the ideas, but the rent due, the laptop all, the speaker now work on them phone, and the current system under the Jamaica Labour Party does not have the woman in their mind or at heart. I stand here to represent every young female entrepreneur. Today I speak for you. Today I speak to you. Jamaica is bursting at the seams with creative brilliance, but brilliance without the right support is like a fire without oxygen. It will fade away. We are the land of Miss Lou, the land of Ednley. We have the rhythm and fire of a Marcia Griffiths and a spice. We have the edge of Grace Jones, but too many young women in the creative sector feel invisible. They feel unsupported and feel deprived of what they need to thrive. The People's National Party is about to change that. The People's National Party is ready to flip the script for young women and create a space in the creative industry where they don't just hustle, they can thrive. The PNP believes in the power of the orange economy, culture, music, design, media, fashion, dance, and storytelling. We know that when we support women in the creative sector, we are not just empowering artists. We are building a formidable economy powered by policy, investment, and access to opportunities. The People's National Party is committed to deliver a $1 billion fund for the creative industries to develop culture, music, entertainment at every level, from grassroots to the global stage, so that every little girl who sings like Spice can know that the potential is in her and the PNP will support her. We are committed to creating a 3-year corporate tax holiday for new businesses, because your first years in business as young women should be for building, not just for surviving. We are committed to planning a phased out asset tax over 5 years, so we free up the capital for young women, so you can reinvest in your hustle and become better and better over that 5-year period. We are creating a creative work pipeline that gives young paid internship is not work. We're giving paid internship, training for freelancers, and real industry experience, because we know when we give young people opportunity and they're given the tools to thrive, they are unstoppable. We are reimagining communities, transforming libraries, building studios, and creating safe entertainment zones in Central Westmoreland, and I hear the need down here too. That structure confidence program so that every young woman in Jamaica knows that their voice matters, their story is important, and their creativity is currency. So if you are a young woman here today and you are tired of being overlooked, you are tired of being underpaid, you are tired of feeling under-resourced, I want you to know that the People's National Party is creating a seat for you at the table as they have done for the 22 of us here. I want every woman in this crowd to find a female entrepreneur and tell them that the People's National Party has a plan for her. So when she goes into that voting booth, she should put the X beside the head, because there is only one political party that has a plan for young women in Jamaica right now, and it is the People's National Party. The time has come for us to build a future where every young woman has the tools, they have the support, and they have the opportunity to lead, to create, and to thrive. The People's National Party is ready to elevate the young women of Jamaica. The word is love, comrades.
For my independent lady.
Your next Prime Minister of Jamaica, Comrade Mark Jefferson Golding. Can I hear some noise? The President of our women's movement, the VPs, my sisters from all the regions, to all my candidate sisters, to all the representatives on the stage, comrades of the PNP, warriors, foot soldiers, blood and fire comrades, are you ready? Comrades, are you ready for a better life in Jamaica? Well, I'm happy to be here on stage, to be a part of Region Evening. I say to you, let's show them the strength of a woman in this country. Today, my message is simple and clear. The People's National Party has a plan for women in agriculture. I represent the breadbasket parish of St. Elizabeth and one of the strongest farming communities, southwestern St. Elizabeth. Today, my message is to tell you that the People's National Party has a $9 billion agricultural fund for agriculture to bring back culture in this country. Today, comrades, I want to say to you that the plan for women in agriculture is to empower them and to nurture back this nation to a solid foundation. Supporting the school feeding program, the ease will allow people to become a part of the agricultural sector again, or women, and also to empower women to start back production, increasing food production and security by training young women in entrepreneur and in technological advancements in farming. Another plan for agriculture, with the women included, is to also ensure that our women get back lands to produce again. Women in agriculture, especially in rural areas, will give them access not only to lands, but to create them small businesses from the background. I want to say, women empowerment in agriculture will allow you to send back your children to school. I want to know which woman are going to have money and make them children stay home. And I say to you, once we empower women back to agriculture, make them know that People's National Party have a plan to get back the women farming, in technological advancements, in entrepreneurial advancements, and empower them to give them a chance back in agriculture. Then we are setting the right standards for this country. Today, my sisters, let me empower you. Let me tell you that the PNP women will inspire you to go back to having jobs again. Warriors of the People's National Party, time come. Stand up and let your voice be counted. Let us stand up against corruption. Let us stand up against domestic violence. And let us stand up for the People's National Party. Once again, the word in love. One love, my comrades.
Time come for Marky G and the PNP. Comrades, please welcome our next speaker.
Westmoreland. Hello, Westmoreland.
All right, shh. Hear this now. Hello, the people from South St. James. Thank you very much. Now, Comrade Danishka Williams told you what the PNP has in store for the young people. Comrade Miranda told you what we have in store for the women in agriculture. And I'm going to talk to you briefly about that thing that gives you power. That thing that is currency that will last for generations to come, that the PNP is preparing for you, and that is land. Good land for the people. Tonight I talk to you, daughter of the soil of South St. James. Me born a girl, me's a real country woman. We survive from the earth. It is the soil that feeds us and helps us to send our children to school. That is our gold in South St. James. But the People's National Party has a long established history of giving land to the landless, and nothing is going to change when we're back to office. Hallelujah, indeed. Let me tell you something. Our slogan says, Jamaica, time come for a better life. And what we mean by a better life is we're not talking about a catchphrase or a slogan like prosperity. We are talking about a real action plan that will help you, your family, to access wealth in this country and to transfer that to your children and your children's children. And that's the power of land. Michael Manley understood that very well. And so in places like Sweetwater, Moko, Garland, Mafuta, Haasgyard, Plantation, Seven Rivers, I can name so many communities in South St. James that the PNP under Michael Manley, later under PJ Patterson, and Portia, of course, she continued it, gave land to the people, not just to live, but land to farm. Big up the People's National Party. For us, land is more than just earth. For us, land is wealth. It is legacy. Land is something that you can pass on to your children and they can live in the house for generations to come. Land is also about generational wealth, creating wealth so you can go to a bank, bring a title, show them, borrow, invest in your business. Land is power, but more importantly, land is dignity. So no make nobody call you squatters. The People's National Party don't think of you as squatters. We think of you as citizens of this great country who deserve the land that God has blessed us with. Now I told you about the legacy of the People's National Party with respect to land. Let me tell you what them other guys did, and you will remember some of this. Land, wholeness, sending in the bulldozer, to lick down the people them 8-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom house. And then him turn round and say, him grew up in a 1-bedroom. He was a poor man too. He wanted a chance. So what about us, Andrew Holness? What about us? We deserve land. I get what in Louisville. A home house them lick down, you know. They gave the people of Louisville eviction notice to come off of the land that they had been paying for. But guess what happened? This man here, Marky G, the general, he pulled together a team of lawyers, defended the people, and today they are still on the land. Power to the people. All right, so that was then. This is now. And in a matter of weeks, them can't hide. They can't run for too long because they must call it. And when them call it, the blood and fire comrades are going to whip them. And after we win and we settle down, we're going to roll out the PNP's land policy. The first thing we're going to do, if you're squatting, as they say, on government lands, it takes 60 years. 60 years for you to be able to own that land and get a piece of title in your hand. The PNP said, no, 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 no more of that. We're reducing it to 25 years. You can own the land you're living on under the People's National Party. Power to the people. We are going to revive LAMP. That's the program that this government has not invested in because they don't want you to have title for your land. A lot of land title were ready when we left office nearly 10 years ago, and then tear up the paper. Them no want you to have land. They say you're too powerful. Them have to keep you back. But not your People's National Party. We're going to empower you. We're going to use GPS. We're going to use drones to map your land so that you can have access to the land you've been living on, your grandmother lived on, as long as it is the government land and you can show access. We're going to give power to the people. It's not done yet. 40,000 land title every single year is coming to you from the People's National Party when we go back in a power. Power to the people. It's not done yet. If you live on backside land, like in Manchester, St. Catherine, Clarendon, and you can't access it, we are going to fast track it so you can have access to the land that Jah give you. And people, I love that one here. I love that one here because we're not going to wait until you reach the 25 year to give you the title for the land. We're going to give you a provisional title. What that means is that even before it reaches the age of maturity, you can get a piece of paper with a provisional land title and walk up to NCB or Scotiabank and say, give me a loan. Power to the people. We are about restoring dignity to the people of Jamaica. Jamaica not just for them and them friends and them family. Jamaica is for us. And PNP is giving you access through land and putting power into the hands of the everyday Jamaican man. Comrades, my time is up, but I want to tell you that this message about the land access is for every teacher, every farmer, every helper, every higgler, every mother, every woman, every man, every boy and girl. PNP is going to put power in your hands. This is not a buzzword. We truly believe it when we say we are coming to make your lives better. It's not a slogan, it is a plan coming from Marky G, Jamaica. Believe me when I tell you, Jamaica, time come for a better life with the People's National Party. One love.
You realize that if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a farmer, if you're just an ordinary Jamaican, PNP and the Marky G-led administration, incoming administration, has a plan for you. Are you liking what you're hearing so far, comrades? Comrades, when I say time, you say come. Time. 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 Comrades, please welcome to the platform the MP and MP candidate for St. Catherine North Central, Comrade Natalie Nita Garvey.
Comrade Chairman, Comrade Party Leader, and next Prime Minister of Jamaica, within a couple weeks from now, you will be saying, Prime Minister Mark Jefferson Golding. And First Lady, Mrs. Sandra Golding. I want to acknowledge host MP Dwayne Bass, my colleague members of Parliament who are putting their names on the ballot as standard bearers for the greatest political movement there is, the People's National Party. I also want to acknowledge the President in her own right and in the capacity of leader of the PNP's Women Movement, Comrade Patricia Duncan Sutherland. Comrades, time come. And if you never know time, watch how them run up and down. Watch how them cuss them one another. Watch how them watch we, I watch them and lose the election. Because time come. If you never know the time come, know the time come. Because one day you hear this about the bus, tomorrow you hear that about the bus, tomorrow a different something about the bus. And you don't know how the bus really go. The only thing me know is that something not right about the bus story there. If you never know the time come, you know when the PNP has made the effort and kept its commitment to have 22 of its candidates be women, strong Jamaican women who are putting themselves sometimes as lamb to the slaughter. Because them not treat we like how they treat the man them sometimes. Me not throw no word upon no man. But then cuss we, then call we all sort of name. Them tear down with posters. Them a try drive fear in our heart. But we not afraid of no boy, no girl, no dear, no weir. Because we are strong, black Jamaican women. Comrades, I am clear, very clear, that when I, who have served for the last 9 years as a councillor, I am now in my 18th year and 4 terms as Member of Parliament. I was a councillor when PJ Patterson was Prime Minister. I became Member of Parliament under the Honourable Portia Simpson Miller later on. I was here when Peter Phillips was party leader. And I'm still here when Mark Jefferson Golding will become Prime Minister of Jamaica. Don't make nobody fool you. Him born ya. Be sure him born ya. And if anybody never know me sure, say him born ya. Me sure him go to school here. Run up and down in Jamaica like the rest of we. Him marry a beautiful Jamaican empress right here, Jamaica. Him have him pick them right here in a Jamaica. And I can tell you, him making money right here in a Jamaica. And him not left ya. Him decide to stay here, to work and help the people of Jamaica like his father did before him. Heal the man! Heal the man! Heal the man! So we have excellent candidates. We have a brilliant man to be Prime Minister. We have a good team to become the next cabinet. And I just want to speak to you for a minute about housing. When you say housing, you say PNP. And we know how to build house. And we build poor. We know how to build houses. We build houses for ordinary Johns, everything. So when we say we will build 50,000 houses, and not talk, we attack. We sure say we'll do that and we are going to do it again. Of the 50,000 houses, young women like my own daughter, who is under 35 years old, and just finished Norman Manley, can get a grant of $500,000 to pay down on our house. Any young person in this country who qualifies for NHT benefit, the People's National Party is going to make $500,000 available to you as part of your deposit on a house so you can hold your own door key. But the PNP going further. The PNP said if the land that the house is being built on is land belonging to the government and the house price would have come up to $9 million. The PNP said if the land is $3 million, they are going to take off the $3 million off of the $9 million, so you will only pay $6 million for that house. And don't forget, if you're under 35, it will be $6 million minus $500,000. So you are only going to be paying $5.5 million. Glory to the People's National Party. Comrades, we started with this taking off this $11 billion from NHT. And we did it at a time when we needed to balance. But the Jamaica Labour Party has continued to remove $1 billion instead of having it go to build affordable housing. The People's National Party will stop the extraction of the $11 billion from the National Housing Trust so that we can build more houses for Jamaicans. Comrades, when we say housing, we mean we are building houses. We might not be able to do it everything in 1 year. But what we say we are going to do, we will do in our term. When we say we are going to ensure that if you work hard and you can qualify, me say, if you qualify to get NHT deduction, take out of your pay, you must qualify to get a benefit from the NHT. That's right. If them can take out the money out of your pay towards NHT, you should be able to get your partner draw one of the day. Because if you qualify for them take money out of your pay towards NHT, you should be qualified for a benefit under the National Housing Trust. So the PNP has thought through this. We have taken the last 9 years and we have worked through the policies. We have done the consultations. We are working with you to make sure that every single policy we introduce will be a policy that will make your life better. Comrades, are you ready for the People's National Party? Are you ready for Mark Jefferson Golding as your Prime Minister? Well, hear the man and hear the PNP. The word continues to be loved.
My blood and fire comrades, let me hear you. My blood and fire comrades, let me hear you. Comrades, I'm going to welcome one of the powerful women of the PNP to our platform, the regional chairman for the mighty and powerful Region 4, Comrade Denise Daly, MP for St. Catherine Eastern. Before you hear from Auntie Denise, please welcome our General Secretary, Comrade Dr. Dayton Campbell.
Hello, comrades. Comrade leader, next Prime Minister, without a doubt, of this country, Comrade Mark Jefferson Golding. Comrade Chairman, my own region representative, and I don't know, pure woman we are talking about. Big and powerful, anytime and anywhere. Mrs. Golding, I can tell you something. I tell them all the time. I tell them all the time. All the time. You see, when a man go run for your position and then he go look for one wife, then me no rate the man that's so easy. But you see, when a man have been wife for 34 years, boy, that the man me rate. Before he dream to come here, he make sure he choose beautiful black woman as his wife. My chairman, hold on. Me not against brown people, me no. Nobody me brown people. I love brown woman too. I love white woman too. But me love black woman, black. All right? Yes. We have our powerful woman, chairman of the party. When nobody look on her and believes that she's in a walkover, Comrade Dr. Angela Brownberg. And then you have now a powerful woman coming from the bloodline of the Duncans, who is the president of the women's movement, Comrade Patricia Duncan Sutherland. And again now, we can't call the man name it Jensek, because on a man day today. What the president take precedent over everybody. You see the buried them, but you see we have on, even though I couldn't put on for me properly. I mean, I want the cameraman go turn upside down. So I no bother put it on yet. But you see the buried, you know what that signify? Power, warrior. We not afraid of nobody. That's why nobody believes that because you woman, you go come believe you can't just come just push over. No. A strong woman man taking 19. He not think fair woman. A weak woman. He take woman we can't stand up to the pressure of times. But you don't know what happened. You know why I try to come and tell you a little story. You know some reach part of my way have to turn back and go to a funeral. You see how important we take people business for. I was on, you know, I come late sometimes still, but this time it was early. And I had to turn back to go and represent because when I look at the amount of media people that were there, I said PNP must be counted. And I turned back, but thank God I came before the doors closed and the window didn't close up. But comrades, we are here for serious business. Very, very serious business, comrades. As the 22 female candidates are out there looking and preaching and trying to empower and to educate both men, women, boys and girls about the ideology and the philosophy of the People's National Party, because you know the difference between Labour right and PNP. PNP, Labour right can't take up somebody 4 days before election and put them in our seat and say a Labour right place is making go on. PNP don't do that. You have to approve. You have to work with the people. You have to stay with the people. And that is how we are convinced that you are going to serve the people of your constituency. I was told, comrades, to come here to speak about persons with disabilities because it is part of my portfolio. And the reason why I am so passionate about it, it is because I have a leader who knows, who understands, who lived persons with disabilities. I know that many of you might have a auntie, even a child with disabilities. And any leader, I always use 3 things to mark a leader. A leader who look about children, a leader who look about old people, and a leader who deal with people who Mark Jefferson Golden is one of them. And therefore, we have set out a plan to make sure we can ease the burdens from the families who are suffering because sometimes they don't even have a caregiver. We are looking at a budget of $1 billion. And I was being asked, comrade leader, that we make sure that each ministry have a line item in there with a percentage of funds that can deal with, if it is education, if it is health, separate and apart from the $1 billion. And I intend to look at it and to make recommendation to our next Prime Minister of this country. Comrades, there is a tribunal. That tribunal, a lot of people call me every day and say, you know, I'm being discriminated against because A, B, and C. They don't know that the People's National Party have set up a tribunal, an act from 2014 It came in effect in 2022, and that is what he's going to use to protect persons who are most vulnerable. If you have a complaint, go to the tribunal. You don't even have to go to court. Just go to the tribunal and make your case known. We are going back again, and we are looking at adult daycare, that we can take out some of them some of the times and give the caregivers a break so that they can go do their little business. Comrades, the other day I went to St. Anne, and a lady called me and she said, I beg you, no, please. The testing time is too long to find out if the pitney is in good standing. Them going to school, they are disruptive. They say them no manners. Them no know if it's sit down quiet. Them, because what happened? The children sometimes, a child might have a little problem, but because no testing not done, you label the child, you put the child at the back of the class when the child could come to the front of the class. So comrades, I am saying to you today, time come for us to give a leader with a passionate heart, with a clean hands, with a pure heart, a chance to run this country, because you know who is running it now, and they cannot stand up to the test of time. Time come, comrade. One love, one heart.
Hear me now. We don't start crying. What if things are going for uno complexion? Black is not the uno.
Comrades, some music, man. Bounce something low, please. Comrades, I now invite to the platform our party chairman and MP for St. Andrew Southwestern, Comrade Dr. Angela Brown Burke.
Let me first acknowledge the next Prime Minister of Jamaica, Marky G himself, Mark Jefferson Golding. And then let me acknowledge the President of the Women's Movement and all of the officers of the movement. My colleague, sisters on the platform, whether they are MP candidates or MPs, councillors or councillor candidates, colleague officers of the party. And let me acknowledge the comrade sisters and the comrade brothers, because I see a few of them too who are in the audience. And then I want to especially welcome the next generation, because I see some under 12, probably women's. Give that a clap, because those of you who are members know sometimes that many of us don't work with you from the bottom come up. Not true, because we don't know what it is like to be a member. So as one member to another, I want to talk to our teachers today, and I want to bring a message of hope to every single teacher, wherever, or educator, wherever in Jamaica. I know also teachers, in addition to what we have as the 22 women. And comrades, I want you to help me thank the party leader, because the women's movement started talking about parity and placed it on the agenda. The party leader, when he thought about it, said, I can make a commitment to take the first step. And that first step is to make sure we have at least 30% women. And today, I stand before you as one of the 34% women candidates who will be facing the next general election. So big up Marky G for that. Promise made, promise kept. Comrades, as I talk today to Jamaican teachers and educators, I really want to talk about what is the important role of teachers in Jamaica. And I want to talk a little bit about why the policies of the PNP will continue to support you and you and you, all of us as teachers. Because I also can stand as one who has spent years in the classroom as a teacher. And so when I speak knowing what I'm talking about. But I speak because Comrade Golding and the team has thought long and hard about the policies that are going to be important to change the lives of our teachers. We all know that teachers are the backbone of the education system, not true? Anybody here who was ever taught in school by a teacher? Let me see your hand. Everybody who has been taught by a teacher, let me see your hand. What happened? Nobody never teach you at school. Nobody never teach you at school. Okay, we all had to go through a teacher, an educator at some point of another. And we know that our teachers and educators have been shaping minds of future generations. They have been inspiring and motivating students to reach their full potential. We know that when they do it, often they do it using their own resources just to make life easier for our children, just to make sure that our children are able to learn. I want to say this to you, and when you leave here, I want you to remember this. We are in Region 6, and I know that Region 6 must remember Sir Howard Cook. Anybody remember Howard Cook? I don't hear you. Anybody remember Howard Cook? Okay. I want to tell you that as from early as 1938, the People's National Party was thinking about teachers, because Howard Cook at the time was the representative for the Jamaica Union of Teachers, who was on the group that was founding the People's National Party, talking it through, looking at what we would become as a party. And therefore, with persons like Howard Cook, that legacy has influenced our priorities and our thinking as a party. And therefore, we are proud, very proud, of the significant impact on the lives of the teachers throughout the years that our policies and programs have made. Some of you might be old enough to remember that a revolutionary piece of legislation passed by Michael Joshua Manley back in 1975. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about equal pay for equal work. Comrades, this law had a very profound impact on teaching and the teaching profession. You know why? Before that, female teachers were not paid the same as male teachers. They were paid less than male teachers at the time. And that law revolutionized teaching and brought our women who were in the service to be able to get the same kind of pay. So that when them go to supermarket, them have them look just and the cars the same work. And comrades, if you don't fully understand how important it is, I want you to remember with me that Barack Obama, while he was president, made a commitment to American workers that he was going to make equal pay for equal work. Now just the other day that, and we in Jamaica, because of Michael Manley, we have had that since 1975. Comrades, as I talk about that, I really also have to give the women's movement and the women of that era, Comrade Bev, right, Comrade Perry, and the others, a whole heap, yeah man, clap them, because what they ensured was that the work done by the Prime Minister at the time was backed by the work of the women's movement, but not the women's movement alone. They did it in partnership with sister organizations in Jamaica. So it was a national movement that they were working on to make this a reality. And that's who we are, an inclusive party. And so teachers today can be assured that when Mark G becomes Prime Minister, he will have in them a partner for development and for education, because we will be doing nothing for them without them. But let me talk a little bit now about how Mark G is going to continue to support our teachers. This first thing is that he's going to make sure that student loan, and then he's also going to make sure that the motor vehicle concession that they have taken away, that will be restored, and that will increase with their years of service. Can you know what? I will bring it back better than before. Yes, comrades. And comrades, you and I know that teachers have been putting everything they have on the table. But sometimes they just can't seem to move ahead. Yes? And so, Mark Eugene, recognizing that, is going to make sure, and Comrade Natalie spoke about it a while ago, but because I'm talking to teachers, I want to make sure that they know that this is for them as well. Yes? And so, Mark Eugene, recognizing that, is going to make sure you can balance yourself a little bit and know that you have 3 months before you start paying, yes, that loan. Because we say, everything down, not true. We are going to build back better. That we are going to set it right and restore. Yes, comrades, even that we are offering, yes, that used to be offered to many public sector workers. Comrades, we get that back. Teachers, I tell you, get ready, get ready. The other thing that Comrade Mark Golding is going to do, Prime Minister Mark Golding is going to do, you see things like laptop and tablet that teachers have to use every day as part of preparing, right, to teach our children. That is what we call tools of trade, because that is what they use to teach. Pension. It is about enhancing the outcome of our students, because we're tired to see children leaving primary school not being able to read and write. We want to have a supportive learning environment. And ultimately, comrades, this will help us to develop a stronger, well-skilled, and resilient society. So it affects all of you, all of we. Mark G, as the next Prime Minister, will continue to empower our teachers and who are shaping the next generation of leaders. So as I end, comrades, I have a simple ask of you. A simple thing I'm asking you to do. When you see the teachers out there, have a conversation with them. Remind them of what the PNP is going to do for them in government. Ask them to listen carefully to the plans we have for them. And to the teachers, I said to you, when our canvassers come to your door, talk to them. Give them your numbers so we can contact you. And whenever them call it, because them are run up and down, we know that them not comfortable. But them have to call it. They must call it. So whenever them call it, I ask all our teachers to step forward and help us rescue Jamaica and ensure a better life for all of it. Put a man with clean hands and clean heart in Jamaica House. Time come, Jamaican teachers, for all of you to have a better life. One love, comrade.
Comrades, you know, even though it's a women's movement conference, without our men, it can't nice. Right, comrades? So, comrades, please welcome the MP candidate for Westmoreland Eastern and our General Secretary, Comrade Dr. Dayton Campbell.
Our Prime Minister in waiting, Mr. Mark Golden, and his lovely wife, Sandra Golden. President of the Women's Movement, Comrade Patricia Duncan Sutherland, and her husband, who I'm sure is somewhere around because he's also very supportive. Chairman and other members on the platform, blood and fire comrades in the audience, greetings. I want to at the outset apologize for my late arrival. I don't make it a habit to come to a meeting after the boss has arrived. But it's a case of being near to church and far from God. The meeting was close. I was up in one of my community and the argument got away and I ended up being late. So getting into the conversation is important because it determines how you approach the different things that you are confronted with. And so we as a party believe that it's important for us to have the input of the females into all levels of conversations within the party and within the government when we are in government. With that thinking, it is important that we put forward sufficient candidates that are females so that we will have that balance in the parliament and in the cabinet. We have put forward 22 female candidates. And I want you to look at it and understand that we need a majority of them to win in order for us to be in government. So we didn't just put token candidates into difficult seats. More than 50% of them need to win the constituencies that they're in for the party to be in government. So we have placed the females in critical, winnable constituencies so that they can have a part to play in the process. I want to also offer commendations to our former leader, Dr. Peter Phillips, who named 4 female senators. Half of the senators for the party are females. When we went into the local government election, in Kingston and St. Andrew, we had 40 candidates, 20 female, 20 males. We won 20 of the divisions, 10 females, 10 males. Where we are now is a part of Region 6. Region 6 for the PNP is St. James, Hanover, and Westmoreland. We have 10 constituencies. Of the 10 constituencies, 5 are represented by males and 5 are represented by females. We are not where we want to be as yet. We would love to have 30-odd of the candidates being females. But it is a good start on that journey to ensure that there is equity in the representation from the People's National Party. I want to say that I'm not sure I started out as a believer that the journey was harder for females. I'm confessing, I speak the truth, I confess it. I used to hear them say that it is harder for a woman to be in politics. I used to say to myself, I don't believe, because them not go beg them as much. Them not go this, them not go that. But I must tell you today that having consulted with my right mind, I can stand firmly to say to you, the journey is much harder for a woman in the political process than it is for a man. And it's for several reasons. Even when they try to raise funding, the way in which they would contribute to us as male candidates, they bring different arguments to them when they are trying to raise the money to run the campaign the same way. When they are operating in the constituency, when we are in the meeting and we say, all right, ease down now. Everybody wants to challenge their authority in some of the executive meetings and some of the other meetings. It is much harder for the females in the political process. And so we are committing to give fulsome support to all of our female candidates so the majority can be victorious in the elections. I'm not a new convert to the importance of females. I have long held the view that females are critical in our society. Somebody said to me recently that, Dayton, you are from humble beginnings. And when you speak, I want you to speak on the behalf of those persons that are from humble beginnings. And I'm saying that because the greatest human being alive in my book is a woman named Gwendolyn Wright Campbell, Miss Lucky, my mother. The greatest human being alive. And I go even further. The greatest human being alive or dead is Miss Lucky. And the reason I say that is because of the role that she played in ensuring that I am here today. She was the minister of everything in the household. The first time I heard my mother said that she was pinching the money, long before I had abstract thinking, I literally thought she was going to pinch off a piece of the money to spend. It was later that I understood that what she's saying is that she was going to be prudent with how she spent the money. She was going to ensure that with the little bit that she had, we could go to school and we could still come home and there's a dinner that is waiting for us when we get home. We may not have had it all, but she made sure that the things that were important, we didn't lack for those things. She denied herself a new pair of shoes, a new outfit. She denied herself any privilege to ensure that her children could go to school, because her thing was that my children must pass the worst in life. She wanted a better life for her children. And looking back and reflecting at some of the mothers that are in the society right now, that the fathers have abandoned the children and they've left the responsibility, all of it, to the females. It is important that a government understands this and support those females in the society so that they too can raise our children to be the very best version of themselves. When Miss Lucky did her work, which was a domestic helper. And she got the little bit of pay. I can recall going to school and she gave me $60 to go to school for the day, $300 for the week. I had classmates that were getting $300 for the day. When I got $60, initially it was $50 for fare, $25 to go and $25 to come back. I was left with $10. I had to become creative. I had to tell my friends that I am going to buy the lunch. And I take $5 from each one of them so I could buy a sugar bun because it was the biggest thing available. And I bought a Big Joe box drink. Because I was just eating to fill my tummy. It wasn't about nutrition. It was about just eating to fill my tummy so I could learn something and try to break the chains of intergenerational poverty. Understanding that reality, it is the reason why the People's National Party is putting in place what we call the EASE program to ensure that every needy child in school can have a warm, nutritious meal every day. Because in order for the children to learn and become something, they need proper nutrition at school. And we are going to ease the burden of some of the mothers that are out there so that you can be guaranteed that when you send that child to school, they will have a warm, nutritious meal that is waiting for them. I say, hail Comrade Mark Golding and the incoming PNP administration. For those who can't find the fear to send them to school to begin with, all the mothers that are here and the ones that are listening online and elsewhere, understand that what we are saying is that we are going to give $500 per day or $2,500 per week or $10,000 per month for you to have that child transported to school in dignity, safely, so that they can learn. A lot of the conversation that is taking place now is about political one-upmanship. And it is not about the real problem that is confronting us. What we want is to ensure that a mother like Miss Lucky that had 3 of us in high school at once and is a domestic helper with a father in prison, that those children can get that $10,000 to go to school, and when they get to school they can have a warm, nutritious meal so that we can have people elevating themselves beyond the limited expectation that society places on them. Your children, that society is saying they can't become this or they can't become that. They want to limit what they can achieve. We believe that they can have a better life. We believe that they can be the best version of themselves. And we want to have, in every discussion that we are having, the balanced input of the mothers who will understand that visceral reaction that they get when they see the suffering that is taking place in the society. And so, I'm asking you, comrades, to recommit ourselves to the mission. The mission to uplift our people and take them out of poverty. The mission to cause our people to become prosperous in life. The mission to cause our people to can live in dignity. Give the support fulsomely to these ladies that are gathered here today. Knock on a door, knock on a gate and speak to somebody for them on their behalf. pay for a taxi on election day for one of them. Contribute something to a pot of soup when they're having the meeting in the community. Do something, walk and canvas for them. Do something to ensure that these women that mean well and want to lift our culture out of this state can become representatives of the people. We have a very rich history, having provided Jamaica with its first female prime minister. The work has not been completed. Despite the talks you hear and the pretense that everything is well, you know that your lived reality tells you that everything is not well. And it is on that basis that we need change, because we need to guarantee our people a better life. Better must come. The word is love.
Acknowledge the presence of my own MP, MP Fitz Jackson from the powerful Southern St. Catherine, the 8-star general. Comrades, as our General Secretary said, we're a party of progress. We're a party that has elevated women over the years. And I now invite to address this rally and our annual conference, the most powerful woman, Eastern, Comrade Patricia Duncan Sutherland, President of the Women's
representing
Movement.
from Market G, make the whole of the comrades them know. Time come, and progress can't done. Shop on to that. Orange are the color, me say orange are the color. Take off the green, orange are the color. Vote for who? Orange are the color. Everything smooth, me say orange are the color. 21 mean Patricia, of course. She are the big woman. She are the comrade for the Eastern Division. Labour Party can't touch this one. That side over, that's of them workers. And none of them not make one. We
Can I get somebody to turn on the light?
Vote for Patricia cause she are the one. Orange are the color, me say orange are the color.
Comrade. Comrades of Eastern St. Andrew, let me address you first. Yes, we are saying one Eastern. Comrades, before I start to talk, I want to invite my General Secretary to come up here and give me a big hug up and play me song, the Spirit song. Come. Where my General Secretary? No, want you, yes. I want a big hug up from my General Secretary. No, man, I don't have to clap for this. Yes. All right, DJ and I work with him, so but we work with him. Now, comrades, I play that song then. We are in a good spirit. And I play that song because there's a part of that song that talk about how we come with love. And it's love we are going to give and love we are going to get back. Because we are in good spirits. And today, on this stage, in this room, we are filled with a good spirit. That we are covered in the blood of Jesus Christ and filled with the fire of the Holy Spirit. Because we are blood and fire comrades, filled with a good spirit. And comrades, you know why I asked my General Secretary to give me a big hug up a while ago? Because for us to have common understanding, we have to have dialogue. And when we have that dialogue, it's not always easy for either party to come off of a position. And today, our General Secretary acknowledged that he understood the difference between a man
and a woman in the political arena. And he understood the difference in the lived experience between a man and a woman in the household. That is the first step to making sure that we can have equality, that we can have love, that we can have a good spirit running through our country. And it is a step that we must all take as Jamaicans. We have to have that dialogue in a good spirit. So I want to acknowledge him again, and I want to blow the horn loud for our General Secretary, Comrade Dayton Campbell. Blow the horn for him. And comrade, we are a formidable team in the PNP. And we are a formidable team that's led by a very special leader. A leader that has clean hands, yes, but more importantly, a pure heart. Him come with a genuine respect for people. Him come with a genuine love for people. An open heart, a man who listens. And because we have that leader, we can have that dialogue that can occur between myself, Dayton, Nikisha, Fitz, all of us. We can talk it out and reason it out and match it out together. Because we have a leader that is worthy of leadership. Comrade Mark Jefferson Golding, the next Prime Minister of Jamaica. And comrades, you know, Dayton acknowledged that, and I want to acknowledge in her own right, Comrade Sandra Golding, my friend, before she was propelled into the position of First Lady of the PNP and soon to be First Lady of Jamaica. Sandra Golding, a designer, a mother, a grandmother, a homemaker, a special woman. But comrades, important in life, you know, is the partnership. Partnership between man and woman. And again, our leader leads by example. A partnership of 33 years, correct? Or 34? You stop code. 35 you reach? 35 years, that's right. That is a long partnership. And a solid partnership. But you know, comrades, I feel good as well because I am in a strong partnership. I see Comrade Dayton come acknowledge my husband because he is to be acknowledged. And I will always call him the best husband in the world, Comrade Wayne Sutherland. And I think a lot of people in Eastern St. Andrews is beginning to agree. And Southeast Clarendon would agree. Yes. And Southeast St. Andrews, they have experienced it because he's been on the ground with us and been working with us. But comrades, I am speaking to these partnerships now because we are in a constituency where the sitting MP was seen on camera beating his girlfriend at the time, now his wife, with a stool. And comrades, while many of us may have the experience that Mark, Wayne, Sandra, and I have in that wholesome marriage and partnership, 30% of Jamaican women do not have that experience.
Comrades.
Anyway, when the big one's strolling, hey! Mark Golden! Yeah. Mark Golden ready. We're ready. Yeah, we're ready.
We're ready.
We're ready. Yeah, we're ready.
We're ready.
We're ready. Yeah, we're ready.
We're ready.
Yeah, we're ready. The people them ready.
PNP
We're
ready.
Yeah, we're ready. We're ready. Yeah, we're ready. We're ready.
Yeah,
man.
man.
We're ready. We're ready.
Pull up that now, selector.
Look
Pull
at
it
it.
up. Comrade chairperson of the meeting, Comrade Murray. Comrade President of the PNP Women's Movement, officers of the movement, I have to say a special big up to Comrade Beverly Manley, founding president, former First Lady. And before I make a mistake and get myself in trouble, I have to big up the President First Lady. Babes, thank you for coming. Yeah. Comrade Joyce, enough love. All of the candidates for the People's National Party here on the platform, each and every one of you is due a whole heap of respect. And I just want to say how proud of you we are and how determined we are that we should give you all of the support that we can in the journey that is ahead of us. Most of all, of course, I have to thank each and every one of you who are here, still standing since 3 o'clock. It's been a long afternoon. So I'm not going to be long, but respect due to all of you for being here. All of the Westmoreland comrades, all the comrades from all over Jamaica who are here. Comrades, we believe in inclusion. We see the importance of ensuring that the politics of the country and the governance of the country reflects as best as possible the breakdown in the society, how the demographic makeup of the society is constituted. So when we say we have managed to reach 22 candidates out of 63, we don't feel we've reached where we want to reach, which would be complete parity, but we've managed to get to over a third. And when we started out, we were nowhere near that. So I just want to thank everyone who came on board in that mission, especially the candidates themselves. We're very proud, as I've said, of all of you. Comrades, we know that Jamaica is a society which is very harsh in its treatment of certain groups in the society. And you know, we need to be a more caring country. We need to be a country that looks after those who are vulnerable and those who need the help of the state. And a very important part of the mission of the next PNP government is to try and address those things. So for example, in the education system, we know that the resources that are available for identifying children with special needs, for meeting their requirements so that they can get an education, to help their caregivers through that process. This is something which is definitely inadequate in the current arrangements. And the next PNP government is committed to allocating more resources to support the screening early, detection early of children who may have special needs, so we can address those needs as best we can and give them the best chance in life. In social transformation, Comrade Patricia shadows that portfolio. We know that domestic violence is a big issue in this country, and it is indeed a scandalous situation that the sitting MP who was caught on video engaging in domestic violence in public was never really sanctioned for it in Parliament, and they have gone and put that person back as their candidate for the next election. We see his picture on the billboards as we drive through the constituency. That is a bad signal in terms of how this country needs to move forward. We want to establish special victim centers in each parish that will allow women who have been attacked or otherwise abused in any way to report it, to get checked, and to receive counseling and support in a safe, secure, and stable environment. Jamaica needs to take the issue of domestic violence and gender-based violence seriously. It is a part of our culture that we must adjust and reform, and the state needs to get behind that with the institutional arrangements that can support victims, but also in terms of the messaging that can change the culture and make us a more respectful, listening kind of people. In healthcare, we have a situation today where far too many of our citizens are afflicted with chronic illnesses, non-communicable diseases, including cancers, hypertension, which is pressure, diabetes, which is sugar, and many of them only learn about it very late in the condition. And we know that these are situations which need to be addressed early to get the best outcomes. So this is why in our health policy we are committed to much more assertive screening for these conditions. We want to reduce cervical cancer. We want to reduce breast cancer in the country. We want to ensure that those who have that get detected early, because the rates of full remission and conquering those conditions are much higher if you detect it early and deal with it early. So this is why we must have a much more gender-sensitive approach to healthcare, which involves screening. And it's not just women, men as well, because we know prostate cancer is a big killer of men in the country. So what I would say is that having what by Jamaican standards is a large group of female representatives stepping forward to represent the People's National Party ensures, and I hope that to make sure that it has this effect, that the agenda of women, the needs of women, the concerns of women are reflected in our thinking and in our policy formulation in every area of government, every area of public life. And you know, I just wanted to take this opportunity just to call out our candidates by name and to acknowledge them. In no particular order, it just happens to be the order that's on this list, which was very kindly written for me so I don't forget anybody who is here. And I'll start with our candidate for Southwest St. Anne, a young, vibrant warrior for the People's National Party, Danishka Williams. Big up. For Northwest St. Anne, the youngest senator, perhaps in the history of Jamaica, president of the PNP Youth Organization, a dynamic, wonderful person, Gabriela Morris, Senator Gabriela Morris. Moving to the east, Eastern St. Thomas, councillor for the Morant Bay Division, and somebody who I work closely with to help bring the victory in those two by-elections in Enan Town and Morant Bay last year in November, which really set the tide and showed we can stand up to the Labour. Rosemary Shaw. West Rural St. Andrew, former head of the Solid Waste Agency of Jamaica, former MP in East Rural, but as a comrade running for us in West Rural, a dynamo, hard worker, good organizer, helped to set up Hanover for us, and then she came to West Rural, Joan Gordon Webley. The lady who I will be voting for when election day comes, as will Mrs. G. Big up, brilliant young lawyer, first-time candidate, daughter of the man they call the sheriff, the star boy, but in her own right, an emerging light, Stacey Knight. In Northwest St. Andrew, a comrade who strong on women's rights, on grassroots organization, on women in agriculture, empowerment and training of women, somebody who has hit the ground running and is going to give them a run for their money and become victorious in that constituency. Comrade Ethne Miller Simpson. In Northeast St. Catherine, a comrade who worked closely with Andre Hilton in Eastern St. Andrew when he was MP, learned the politics, and courageously put herself forward to run in Northeast St. Andrew, in St. Catherine. She and I will be touring the constituency on Tuesday. Andreen Higgins, a stalwart of the party in Central Clarendon, somebody who has held down her parish council division for many years and is stepping forward as the candidate. No more Mike Henry, but they brought in a feather. She will blow away that feather. We know that she has what it takes to represent well. Fearless, powerful warrior, Comrade Kalawat. Coming from Southwest St. Elizabeth, I first met this comrade in a thing called the Campaign for Prosperity back in 2005-06 when we were on the same team. And she has been very involved in politics from an early age. And she understands what she's doing, and she's a warrior for the people. And she wants to represent them. Our powerhouse in Southwest, Miranda Wellington. In Northeast St. Elizabeth, a brilliant lady, an attorney at law, somebody who had the courage to run against Mike Henry in Central Clarendon and never gave up. And Northeast called for her, and she was ready to answer the call. None other than Comrade Zulika Jess. And in Northwest St. Elizabeth, somebody who has emerged and is really stealing the thunder. She is an incredible candidate. I have seen her work on the ground in a seat where so many people would say PNP don't have any chance. You know, hear them argument there. She has been representing the people as if she were the MP because they have had such poor representation for so long. She's dealing with the farmers. She's dealing with the taximen. She's dealing with the single mothers. She will make a wonderful representative of the people in Northwest. And I give you Patricia Scarlett Forrester. Somebody who I work with very closely on a day-to-day basis, and I've been friends with her for quite a long time now. First met her when I was Minister of Justice. She's a brilliant woman, a great communicator, somebody who gives you good advice and is going to, I'm sure, run Homer out of the town in South St. James. And I'm talking about Nikisha Burchell. In Central St. James, a senator, somebody from a PNP pedigree, par excellence, somebody who has gone into representational politics with a fervor and an energy which has us all amazed. I've walked with her in her constituency and I see the care and love she has for the people and how they are receiving her. And I look forward to seeing Central St. James in the willing column with the name Janice Allen as the next Member of Parliament. In East Central St. James, a teacher, somebody who is well known to the people, somebody who has been working on the ground, and somebody in whom I am well pleased. I bring to you Comrade Rochelle Reed Knott. Big up, Rochelle. In Eastern Hanover, a lady, a business executive, somebody has worked in the politics behind the scenes and has decided to step forward. And she's a business person, gets things done. We bring to you Comrade Andrea Perkis. And right beside her, on the western side of Hanover, an attorney at law, a dynamo, somebody who understands the politics, coming out of a political family, somebody who is going to win back Western Hanover for the People's National Party, Heather Miller. Sorry, just to make sure the list is complete. A stalwart, a warrior, a mentor, a vibes lady, out of Eastern St. Catherine, no guy test. Bring in Denise Daly. And from North Central St. Catherine, a former councillor, a lady who has served the party in many capacities, somebody who is an incredible energy in the party, who has helped me to unify the party, somebody who I respect to the max, somebody who I show complete love for, Mrs. Garvey, none other than Natalie Nita Garvey. And our first female chairman of the party, the lady who succeeded in Southwest St. Andrew, my neighboring constituency, to Sister P herself, my sister, Dr. Angela Brown Burke. And finally tonight, but by no means least, the lady who's going to represent the constituency from which I spring and from which my dear wife springs as well. None other than the lady of the moment, president of the PNP Women's Movement and next member of Parliament for Eastern St. Andrew, Patricia Duncan Sutherland. Yeah, man. Comrades, we need to rescue Jamaica. We have a government which lacks integrity. The latest thing with this cloud over this importation and procurement of these old buses is just the latest in a long, long line of shady dealings and things that don't look right through to outright nepotism and corruption. The people of Jamaica are sick to the stomach with a government that behaves in that manner on a consistent basis. Time come for a new Jamaica. Time come for a better life. Time come, Jamaica. Stand up and be counted. Put your ex beside the head. Power to the people. One love, comrades. God bless you. The word is love.
Comrades, please be outstanding for Women of Jamaica. Jamaica rise, comrades.
The trumpet has sounded, my countrymen all, so awake from your slumber and answer the call. The torch has been lighted, the dawn is at hand. Who joins in the fight for his own native land? Land of my birth, I pledge to thee, loyal and faithful, true to thee.
All right, comrades, good night. Travel home safely. The word is love.
Matriama.